Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Today, I am joined by Jorge Solis. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Ken. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, this is such an honor for me. For those of you that don't know Jorge, let me give you a little bit of a background. He's an entertainment reporter at The Sun. He also covers Teen Mom, Kim Kardashian, The Jersey Shore. In his spare time, Jorge also writes movies and comic book reviews for his blog, Villain Media, which you guys could check out. Previously wrote for Newsweek, MTV, Fangoria, and Bloody Disgusting. All the social media links are right down here in the description below. So make sure you guys are clicking these. Follow Jorge on Twitter. Check out some of the stuff that he's doing. Holy shit, the stuff that you've worked on, Jorge. Fangoria, Bloody Disgusting, things that we all love. Growing up horror, Fangoria has been a huge part of my life for a very long time. Bloody Disgusting, one of my favorite publications. Dread Central, Bloody Disgusting, The Daily Dead, these things I look at every single day, and you've got to work for these things. So what's it like for you now, covering Teen Mom, the Kim Kardashian new stuff? Like, what's that like for you before we move on to the other?
Okay, when I first started for Fangoria and Bloody Disgusting, I had just graduated from college, and I had also gone to film school, the New York Film Academy. So I was, I wanted to be a film journalist. I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So after film school, one of the artists, one artist that I knew, he knew one of the, I think someone who worked at Fangoria. He said, there's this writer you should know. Let me introduce you to him. So I started networking, meeting with Fangoria, and I was just like, hey, do you need writers? I would love to participate since I just graduated from college and I need to build my portfolio. Could you guys help me out? And I met Rebecca McKendry back then, I think in early 2000. And then I worked with Chris Alexander when he was EIC, I think. No, managing editor. He was managing editor at the time. And so yeah, I got published in one of the magazine articles. I think I have it somewhere here. Yes. Oops, that's not it. Yeah, if you have this issue, I'm in it.
That's so fucking cool, man. Like, Fangoria is something as a horror fan, ever since I was a young boy, Fangoria has always been something very special to me. And, growing up reading that, to know that you're a part of that forever. No one can ever take that away from you. You are forever in the world of Fangoria, man. And I'm super jealous of that. That's so incredible.
Thanks so much.
And now, like I said, an entertainment reporter at The Sun. So
Yeah.
What's that like for you? How is that different than what you were doing with Bloody Disgusting and Fangoria and MTV and such?
Well, after writing for Bloody Disgusting, I realized I wanted to move. I wanted to do interviews with directors. I wanted to interview comic book artists. I wanted to interview comic book writers. So, but I didn't want it to just be in horror. I wanted to expand my writing and just see where it could take me. And so I went to this. That's when I joined up with MTV. And MTV, they were doing, hey, we know you like horror, but would you mind writing about, do you mind if you write about The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, even though it's not really horror? Would you like to write about it? I was like, I would love to write about it. And then they asked me, hey, do you want to write about Doctor Who? Of course, I would love to write about
Right.
Doctor Who. I didn't say no that it wasn't in horror. I just wanted to jump in and say and expand my writing. So I started writing, and then I got an interview with the showrunner of Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat, and that's how it all built up.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with expanding your horizons. If you box yourself into just horror, like Sledgehammer Horror, you're kind of stuck there. But for me, that's my comfort zone. Going out of my comfort zone, I would love to do that. And there are times where I go on other podcasts and I talk about, anime. I grew up a big Pokemon fan. I talk about anime. and go on to talk about action movies. You know, my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future, which is
I love
not
it.
horror at all. I mean, really. So, horror is my bread and butter. It's what I grew up with. It's what I love the most. It's where my heart is. But I grew up in a video store. I don't know if you know that, Jorge, or not, but
Oh, really?
my parents owned a video store, and right next door to our video store, which was Downtown Video, was my cousin's card shop, Tim's Cards and Comics. So when I wasn't at the video store, I was over flipping through comic books and looking at baseball cards and stuff with my cousins. And you know, comic books, baseball cards, horror movies are all something that mean very, very much to me. It's all a lot of fun. And you know, like you said, expanding your horizons into more than just horror, no shame in that, man. That's awesome. Not boxing yourself in, it's fucking fantastic. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you so much. I was like, it was kind of scary at first because I was like, okay, would people accept me, some guy from the horror genre, just who's only been doing horror genre for so many years, would they accept me outside of it? And I was just like, it was just like I pushed through, you know.
And the bottom line is talent. Whether you're writing about horror, whether you're writing about Game of Thrones, whether you're writing about Doctor Who, whether you're writing for the National Enquirer, talent is talent. And it doesn't matter what you're writing for, and you have the talent, man. And I truly believe that no matter where you go, they're going to be lucky to have you because you have the passion and the talent to do whatever you set your mind to. And you can do anything, man. After reading some of your stuff and obviously following you, I know how intelligent you are, and it's always fun to have conversation with you, my friend. So I have no doubt that even though horror to me is the best and it will always be the most special to me, wherever you go, buddy, I will follow you. So I'm very excited to see what the future has in store for you as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So we talked about how you started writing horror. That's where you started, but that also had to start somewhere. So Jorge, I want to take it back to the past, and I want to talk about what got you started in the horror genre, your first horror movie, and your first horror movie was.
My first horror movie was Child's Play. I remember seeing that back in the day. Um, Back in the day, there was only like VHS or TV, so it was always Channel 11 for me here in New York, and that was when they were just like showing a marathon of Nightmare on Elm Street during the week before Halloween. And so one day I was like 7, I think, and I saw Child's Play, and I remember, oh my god, this is like so creepy. Because well, even though it was like edited out because it's like for television, there was
Yeah.
just like you don't really see um Chucky start talking until like towards the third act. It's
Mm-hmm.
like mostly like POVs and all that, and it's all in the first half of the movie is like you're questioning whether Andy is crazy or not. I thought that was interesting. It could be all in this kid's imagination. He could be really the psycho, and then the big twist is no, it's really the doll.
And that scene alone, that's one of the most powerful scenes in the whole movie when, you know, she grabs the doll and she's like,
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
like that to me is one of the best scenes in the whole movie when you watch that play out.
Oh, it was like that was when it really came alive. It was like, whoa.
Yeah. So we talked to you, you were pretty young about them. We just talked about what I feel is one of the most effective scenes in the movie. But what scene would you say affected young Jorge the most?
I think it was okay, near the third act, and that's when they started and they started putting Chucky on fire. And that was like the fact that he was still moving and his face is all burnt up, it's all covered in black, and it's just ash, I think, and it's just his hair is all crazy. And so it was very frightening back then, and
Oh yeah.
it still looks horrifying today, just that his body is all burnt up.
And the practical effects in this movie are fantastic, whether it is the animatronics of the doll or when there's certain points you could totally see it's a guy in a costume, but it's still, I would rather that than a shitty looking CGI any day of the week. I mean, who could say no to this face? You know, who could say no to this little face? It's my buddy. Another good thing about this movie is it spawned an amazing franchise. And anybody that knows me knows Child's Play is my favorite horror franchise of all time. Now, we talked about which scene affected you the most, Jorge, but what would you say your favorite scene from Child's Play would be?
Okay, Okay, because I'm a Hitchcock fan, like an Alfred Hitchcock fan, I
Yeah.
love the one where which is the one it's not the one before Cult of Chucky. I forgot.
Seed of Chucky?
No,
No, Curse of Chucky.
Curse of Chucky, yeah. Curse of Chucky. That's my favorite one, where it's like, Chucky put the poison in the soup. Everybody's taking it's going around one by one.
Yeah.
Don Mancini's like points the camera at each one. It's up to you to guess who he did it to.
That's such an amazing shot. Like that whole sequence, the way that whole sequence is shot, you were just talking about, it's very Hitchcockian because you have that anxiety and you wonder who got this. And then you got the little girl like, this tastes funny.
Yeah.
Or the dad that's like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had. Like you have those little red herring fake outs. And I'm a huge fan of Curse of Chucky.
Yeah.
I think it really brought the franchise back from where, and I'm not knocking Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky is probably my least favorite of the franchise, but it's still fun. I still love the movie.
Yeah.
But Curse of Chucky really brought it back in. It reeled it back in, and it made you fear the doll again. So I definitely love that whole film. Now, with the original Child's Play, Jorge, we can't talk about it without talking about the kills. Obviously, as horror fans, we love the kills. What would you say your favorite kill from Child's Play is?
My favorite from the series or from the first one?
No, just the first film.
The first film? Shoot, that's a tough call. I think for me, just the way they kick-started the movie with the death of Charles Lee Ray, like I was like, because it just happens really fast, and it keeps the audience like they're just like, it starts out like a crime drama. This is like, here's the fugitive, the cops are coming after him, and it's just like this weird shootout, and all of a sudden he's like, he's giving up the incantation, and is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Like that's what I thought. That was like just to kick off that movie in that way.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic opening sequence. That's what sold it for me, to be honest.
And you want to talk about iconic. I mean, you have one of the most iconic line deliveries ever there with the incantation. You have the
give me the power, I beg of you.
And to me, that's one of the most iconic parts of the whole film. I love the chant. Like that's something that stuck with me my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it reminded me of like Thundercats, where the mummy, he's like, ancient spirits of evil.
Yeah.
Transform this decayed body into mom.
See, I grew up
like, you harken back to those things.
Oh!
Yeah.
I get it, man. I loved Thundercats growing up. A question I've recently been asking about franchise films like this. Would you like to see this movie remade today? Now, obviously, with Child's Play, we've already had a remake in 2019. Did you see the remake? And if so, what was your opinion of the Child's Play remake?
Okay. I saw the Child's Play remake, the one with Mark Hamill as the voice of Buddy. I thought it was okay. I thought when it tried really hard to be nostalgic and make callbacks to the original movie, but I like the idea that it's a killer doll taught by humans to be evil. That's what sold it for me. And I thought if they had kept that premise, that it's really humanity's fault, that's why this doll is acting so violently, like that would have been a better movie.
See, and I love the Child's Play remake, and I love it for the same reasons you're saying. And I had a lot of people that were like, "Oh, well, I didn't like the fact that it wasn't Charles Lee Ray." I love the fact that it's not Charles Lee Ray. Charles Lee Ray has already been done, and Brad Dourif did it perfectly. There's no reason to try to redo that because it's already been done. It's already been done masterfully. You're gonna fail. So take it and make it your own. I love what they did with that film. So I totally agree with you. So Jorge, we talked a little bit about your first horror movie, being Child's Play, and how much that movie means to you. But now, my friend, I'm gonna go scream on you here for a second.
All right.
What's your favorite scary movie, Jorge? What is your favorite horror movie of all time?
Okay. Of all time, if you follow me on social media, we're definitely going to be talking about Suspiria. I love Dario Argento's version. I love the remake with I'm forgetting her name, Dakota Johnson.
Oh,
I thought she was marvelous in the remake. I loved Suspiria. Jessica Harper in the original. Wow, everything that she did.
Body horror at its best.
Yeah, that was like, oh my god, the witch at the end. That was crazy.
So, man, Jorge, I've had a great time with you talking about the movies that meant a lot to you growing up and how they changed you, obviously, with Child's Play and Suspiria being your favorite. But now we always end this with the same question, my friend. We're going to go back to Child's Play, back to our good guy, and we're going to rank this movie on a skull count. Now, here's what we're doing, Jorge. We're not ranking this. You're a writer, so we're going to take that all off the table now. We're not going to be critics here. We're not judging it on score, production, anything like that. What we're doing now, brother, is we're just ranking this movie on how much it affected you. So 0 skulls, not effective. 5, very effective. Anywhere in the middle, what would your ranking of Child's Play be?
Well, if I'm like recalling back to my childhood and how it affected me, and after the movie, right? So I was just freaking out because, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I have to go to school the next day. And I was just like, and I have to go to the bathroom before going to sleep. And so I was just like, oh no, the lights are off. Oh no, I have to turn them on now. And so like, I'm turning all the lights on just so I could go to the bathroom. And then my sister's yelling at me, why are the lights on? It's close to 11 o'clock at night. Why are the lights on? And I had to explain myself. I just saw Child's Play. I saw a scary movie. So I need the lights on. And so I turn them off and then I just run back to my room. And so it's just like, so yeah, definitely a 5.
That sounds like a total 5-staller to me, man.
Yeah.
So we opened the episode with this, guys, but now we're in the third act. We're about to let the credits roll. So I want to remind you again, all of Jorge's social media links are in the description. So make sure you're checking those out. Make sure you follow along with him. You're going to want to follow along on the journey that he takes because he's a great guy. He's a great writer. He's got a shitload of talent. And you don't have to wait for me to give you the updates about him. You can follow the updates on your own, and you can follow him on social media. So right here are the links. So make sure you click those. Jorge, don't go anywhere, my friend. I got a couple more questions for you.
No.
Everybody else, as always, keep talking horror. Stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.